What a year it's been in movies so far. Pompeii, RoboCop, Jack Ryan, Shadow Recruit, such intense mediocrity. Though to be fair, there have been some high points, of course, but here's hoping the next 3 months serve us much better. Starting with the big one, Captain America, The Winter Soldier. Highly anticipated, looks great, and out in March if you're from certain parts of the world. And full credit to Marvel for taking a sincere character like Captain America and not turning him into a gritty anti-hero or a wisecracking goof. Really looking forward to this one, and also Robert Redford. Awesome. Next up we have Transcendence, first time directorial effort from Wally Pfister, after his long history of cinematographing a number of Christopher Nolan films. The story is all about putting a human mind in a machine, and the implications of that. Something the new RoboCop did actually pretty well. And being a big fan of this concept, I am totally into this. The Amazing Spider-Man 2, another massive comic book movie release. The film appears to be putting the color and humor back in the Spider-Man franchise, as it bloody should. Say what you will about the 2012 reboot, but it's pretty mediocre. And hopefully this one, unless it suffers from villain overload, turns out to be the best Spider-Man film yet. Following that, we have Godzilla, the second attempt to Americanize the iconic Japanese nuclear lizard in recent decades. This time under the direction of Gareth Edwards, whose previous film Monsters really pushed the boundaries of what's capable in indie filmmaking. Can it be worse than the 1998 version? I cannot possibly imagine how. Then again, I like to be surprised, even if it's an awful surprise. Like if you bite into a sandwich that you think's gonna be great, and then someone cracks you on the back of the head with a brick. Just weeks after The Amazing Spider-Man 2, we're getting X-Men Days of Future Past, the 7th film in the X-Men franchise. It attempts to tie the younger first-class cast with the original through the use of mind, time travel or something, and by all accounts, this should either be the best or worst movie ever. It's a bit of a gamble, this one, especially considering it's the second most expensive film of all time. But one thing's for sure, there are some strange costume choices at play here. Next up, we have Seth MacFarlane's follow-up to his smash hit comedy Ted, A Million Ways to Die in the West, which is of course a western that looks pretty good. And then Maleficent, which is like a Disney prequel retelling thing, focusing on one of Disney's most iconic villains. Great, I guess, just keep retelling fairy tales, but be sure to make them gritty and whatnot, because for some reason it's assumed that's what we want. Edge of Tomorrow has Tom Cruise donning an Elysium-style exosuit and fighting aliens or something. Alright, fine. 21 Jump Street gets a sequel in 22 Jump Street. The Jersey Boys musical movie adaptation also lands under the direction of Clint Eastwood, who doesn't seem to age anymore, but just kind of like harden. Like some kind of piece of petrified wood in the shape of a terrifying old man. And we finally get the Transformers sequel Michael Bay has been threatening us with for years. Transformers Age of Extinction. This time with less Shia LaBeouf, but more robot dinosaurs. So I guess that makes it automatically better than the last one? Alright, that's it. Now if you liked this, I'll be doing a podcast out Monday on all the anticipated films from this time in more depth with my co-host Nick Mason. It's called The Weekly Planet. You can find it on iTunes and other places I've linked below, where you'll also find the latest episode, which is on something. But what's your most anticipated film from this period? Leave your thoughts below or via my Twitter and Facebook pages, both ending in Mr. Sunday Movies, if you have anything to say about that. Thanks everyone, take care.